Is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this 14th day of January 2022. Or we go back to April 20th, 1985 for our first look at the New York Yankees for this replay. And trust me, you're going to see a lot of the New York Yankees. So let's take a look at the Cleveland Indians. And the reason why we picked this game is because the Indians are 6-3. They should be 6-4 by the time the day is done. They have somebody with an earned run average of 7 going and with 85 pitches. This is not going to be the greatest effort in the world for the Cleveland Indians, but JT Dutch is still on the hook if they win the American League East. They're 6-3 right now. The Yankees off to a very slow start. They are 2-6. Phil Niekro, who was 0-2 already on the year, gets the call. He can throw 130 pitches. He probably should throw some strikes along the way. This is technically, I think, one of the last games that Yogi Berra managed as manager of the Yankees. And then along came Billy Martin, and they would give the Blue Jays a run for their money. So it is the Indians and the Yankees for you on a Friday afternoon. We are expecting to get walloped by 40 below zero wind chills overnight. And then on Martin Luther King Day, a snowstorm. How about that? So we will actually do a Negro League game for Martin Luther King Day. I'm not sure what we'll do, but we will figure that one out and have a Martin Luther King Day night, well, probably day special for you. But right now, it's the Indians and the Yankees from the Bronx. As Retro, hit the right button, Sports Network presents Major League Replay 1985. Today, from the Bronx, Yankee Stadium, it is the Cleveland Indians and the New York Yankees. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And it is indeed a cool afternoon here in New York City. 62 degrees, winds blowing out to left at 2. And as we said, the Yankees are not off to a flying start. They are 2-6 and look to the ageless, as in 46-year-old Phil Niekro. And Niekro looks about 57,000 there. How you doing, Tribe fan? Niekro making his third start of the year, lost to the Indians last Sunday in Cleveland. He went 7 1/3 innings, threw 137 pitches, gave up 10 hits, all 6 runs. They were earned. He walked 5 and struck out 4. So the knuckleball is dancing, and it's just dancing the wrong way. 13 1/3 innings for Knucksy, 21 hits, 11 runs, all earned. The homer, Methuselah pitching for the Yankees. He has walked 5 and struck out 6. He's a knuckleball pitcher. As you know, when he does throw the fastball, it hits 86, and he's a fly ball pitcher. Probably not the right park for him. But the Yankees are trying to win a pennant, and Niekro and Guidry with the better part of that. Ed Whitson, not so much. Lineup for the Cleveland Indians. Otis Nixon leads off in left field. Brett Butler in center will bat second. Mel Hall, the DH, will go third. Pat Tabler cleans up for the Indians. He'll play first. Brooke Jacoby at third will bat fifth. George Vukovic in right will go sixth. Chris Bando, who we discovered is not Sal's Bando's son, but his younger brother, behind the plate will bat seventh. Tony Bernazard at second will bat 8th, and Mike Fischlin at short will bat 9th. Good morning. Happy holiday weekend to you, John. And that really is a challenge of all those baseball cards we opened in the mid-'80s because they were never on TV around here. Defensively for New York, Ken Griffey Sr. is 7-7 and left. Omar Moreno is 6-3 in center. This was George Steinbrenner's speed era, by the way. Dave Winfield, it's not quite May yet, but we're coming there, and 8 and right. Mike Pagliarulo a 5 at third. Bobby Meacham a 5 at short. That can't be Bobby Bonilla, is it? Anyway, he's a 2 at second. And Don Mattingly is a 7 at first. Butch Weiniger behind the plate in 8 and 5. And Phil Niekro at the tender young age of 46. A 3 on the mound out of 10. With a 1,000 fielding percentage. And with all that, Otis Nixon steps in. He can bunt. 1 for 10 on the year. That's 100. With 5 strikeouts. Pagliarulo and Mattingly play for the bunt. Nixon strikes out. So a full count fastball on the inside corner, and that's 1 away. For Brett Butler at 200, no homers and 3 RBI. Niekro delivers. Got him. He's got a good morning and a good afternoon. The knuckleball danced around inside on the black. And that's 2 out from Mill Hall. At 1:30. No, it's only 6 minutes after 12. Jeez. No homers and 2 RBI. 3 for 23. Niekro looking for the side. Won't get it as a ground ball to Nuxie over to first. Mattingly is there, and that will retire the side. So the Indians go in order. After half an inning, no score. So Jose Roman, who I have never heard of before. Anyway, he would make 3 starts and 5 appearances for the Indians. He got a save against the Orioles on the 16th, and then the next day, he threw 71 pitches in 4 2/3 innings against Baltimore in a 9-8 loss. So over those 4 2/3 innings, 71 pitches, 3 hits, a run it was earned. He walked 1 and struck out 4. So overall, 5 2/3 innings, 3 hits, the 1 run. He walked 1 and struck out 4. What is Mel Hall in jail for? Because one of you made that joke before. Here's a lineup for the Yankees. Omar Moreno will lead off in center field. Bobby Meacham is at short. He'll bat second. Mattingly at first will hit third. Winfield and right will clean up. And now you know why the Yankees won 100 games. Don Baylor, the DH, will bat fifth. Griffey Sr. and left will go sixth. Pags at third. Pagliarulo, the lefty, will bat seventh. Weiniger behind the plate goes eighth. And Bonilla, you got me curious. It is Juan Bonilla, who only played 8 games. Okay. Will be the second baseman batting ninth. And Niekro threw 19 pitches in his half of the first. Otis Nixon's an 8 4 and left as we set the Tribe defense for you. Brett Butler an 8 9 in center. George Vukovic a 5 5 in right. Jacoby is a 5 at third. Mr. Fischlin a 5 at short. Tony Bernazard a 4 at second. Pat Tabler a 4 at first. Chris Bando a 4 5 behind the plate. This infield is so average, even Charlie Brown's going good grief. Roman is a 5 on the mound with an 800 fielding percentage. Oh, okay. Mel did something that he shouldn't. Moreno, who will be replaced eventually by one Ricky Henderson, 154 and 3 strikeouts. 45 years of 3 counts of aggravated sexual assault of a child and 2 counts. Yeah, okay. Wow. That's bad. That is so bad. Moreno, we gave you his numbers. Roman starts, and Moreno strikes out a 1-2 curve on the outside corner. I forgot to tell you that Roman is 22 years old, a fastball pitcher at 94, and favors neither the ground ball nor the fly ball. Earliest he can be eligible for parole is 2031, sentenced in 2009. Ugh. Wow. Okay, Bobby Meacham, 143, no homers, and an RBI as 2 doubles. The Yankees are off to an icy cold start, 2-6. Pitch to Meacham is fouled back behind the plate, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. Roman delivers, and Meacham laces that one into right field down the line. That might be extra bases. Vukovic taking his time to get there. Meacham is going to round second and head for third. The throw is going to be directly to Jacoby and caught off by Fishland, as Bobby Meacham has a stand-up triple. Yep, about the time that Hall is eligible for parole, Bobby Bonilla will stop getting paid. About right. Don Mattingly, 324, 2 homers and 8 RBI. Mattingly, this is his opus magnum year. 35 homers, 48 doubles, and 145 RBI. He scored 107 times. He's got a chance for his 9th RBI right here. Pitch to Dawn is a fly ball to right. That should be deep enough to score Meacham. Vukovic back in the corner makes the catch. Bobby tags and will score without a serious throw. So 1-0 New York. 2 out here in the bottom of the first. Here's Winfield. Dave at 324 and 7 RBI. Nobody on, 2 out. Winfield punches this one into right center. Vukovic and Butler converge, and the throw goes in the infield. So a 2-out single for Don Baylor, who's hitting .357, a homer, and 3 RBI. Don, the master of getting hit by the pitch. Pitch to Baylor is into center field. Crowd likes it, but so does Brett Butler. And he doesn't even have to move to retire the side. Yankees get a run on the triple by Bobby Meacham. 2 hits and no errors, and leave a runner on after 1-0 Bombers. So pretty much all you need to know about the 85 Indians, they're using Pat Tabler with his 5 homers as their cleanup hitter. 212 and 3 RBI on the year. Pitch from Necro to start the second. Ground ball to Meacham, and Bobby can't handle it. He wanted to transfer from one arm to the other to throw it, and Tabler, there wasn't even a throw. Tabler just took the base. Brings up Brooke Jacoby, 459, a homer and 7 RBI. So it'll be, before we get into the playoff triple header on Sunday for real life, we'll finish up our regular season with the 49ers and the Rams from 84, Sunday at noon Eastern. Pitch to Jacoby. Brooks swings, and that's a ground ball past Bonilla. Tabler will hold at second. Moreno will throw it back in, and the Indians got something cooking here. So I wonder if the next game will things that doesn't make any sense. So I wonder, if the next game will be things that will happen before Bobby Bonilla is fully paid. He's got 9 more years, right? George Vukovic, 130 and 2 RBI. George swings a ground ball to Meacham. Meacham dives. He goes to third for the out there. I'm surprised he didn't try to get the force at second in the double play, but he didn't do it. He gets the lead runner, and so it's still first and second on the fielder's choice. But Meacham was well out on the grass and really only had one play. Like Mike Trout being a World Series champion. Depends on where they trade him, I suppose. So is the last year Bonilla paid 31? Here's Bando, Chris. A relatively handsome 188 and 2 RBI. So first and second, 1 out. Necro from the stretch. There's a liner in the left. Griffey is there. He will make the catch. 2 out. For Tony Bernazard, 357 for Tony with 2 RBI. Jacoby on second, Vukovic on first. 2 out. Top of the second, Yankees leading 1-0. Pitch to Tony. He walked him. So they're loaded for Mike Fischlin. Mike hitting 200. No RBI. A base hit here, he would match his real-life total. So Jacoby now on third. Vukovic on second. 20-35, okay, for Bonilla. Tim looked that one up for us. So in 2035, I will be 63 years old. When did he sign that deal? Pitch to Fischlin. Got him! So Niekro gets out of the jam. A 1-2 with fastball with the bases loaded. Cleveland doesn't do anything. They leave him loaded. No runs, a hit, and an error. The Yankees lead 1-0. Niekro threw, oh my goodness, he threw 36 pitches in the inning. Ken Griffey leads off 192, no homers and 3 RBI. His son might be interested in playing some baseball. Pitch to Griff. Struck him out, gets away from Bando. The throw to Tabler, 1 out. So the curve got away, but it goes 2-3 on the card. Here's Pagliarulo. Mike is 0 for 10 to start 85. He would hit 239 with 19 homers and 62 RBI. Strictly platoon. Pitch to Pags. Into right center. Butler has plenty of room. It's a big park, 2 out. And that'll bring up Weiniger. Butch, this was not the best acquisition in Yankee history. Hitting 087 with 3 RBI. Pitch from Roman. Weiniger into right center again. Butler goes back to the track. That was well hit. And the Yankees are retired in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the third. 1-0 New York. So top of the lineup for the Indians, Nixon, Butler, and Hall. Otis struck out his first time up. Niekro is opening 9 on a not-so-neat and tidy 51 pitches. So he's thrown 2 innings, a hit, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. So before 2000, 35-year deal. My goodness. The Mets accepted due to thinking that Bernie Madoff was legit. All those crazy, crazy Wilpons. So anyway, in 1999, I turned 28. And so that deal runs until I'm 63 years old. And Bobby is laughing all the way to the bank. Pitch to Nixon. Otis swings. A ground ball to Juan Bonilla. Over to Mattingly, and there's 1 out. So the next version, you could do a whole Trivial Pursuit set. The Bobby Bonilla years, and just focus it on trivia questions from 2000 to 2035. Here's Butler. He struck out his first time up. Tribe fan says, in 99, I was thinking it would be soon I could legally drink. That was 1992 for me. Playing for the bunt. Butler swings to Bonilla. 1 on the dirt. Over to first for the out. Second verse, same as the first. 2 out. From Mel Hall is 0 for 1. Weiniger, in my eyes too, John, will be forever known as a Minnesota Twin. He's currently a coach in the Pirates organization. Pitch to Hall. Mel swings a ground ball foul, third base side. Pagliarulo flips it to a fan from Staten Island. 1-2 the count. 1-0 Yankees. Top of the third. Pitch to Hall. Mel swings. There's a ground ball base hit. Moreno picks it up. Bobby Meacham with the late jump. 2 out for Tabler, who's 0 for 1. Second hit for the Indians. Tabler gets away from Weiniger, and Hall will take the 90 on the pass ball. And as Bob Uecker, baseball's ultimate knowledgeable figure, says, the best way to catch a knuckleball is to wait for it to stop rolling and pick it up. DJ John vaguely remembers 1999. Trust me, you weren't missing much. He had many bottles of beer that year, and tequila, and Jack. You sound like the singer Kesha. I brushed my teeth with a bottle of Jack. Pitch to Tabler. Got him. So Necro flirting around. The full count knuckler swung on and missed, and that will retire the side. Indians leave a runner on. Bottom 3, 1-0 New York. So 2 hits for the Indians, and they've left on 4. Here's Juan Bonilla. You don't remember that song? Or did you think I wouldn't know that song? Yeah, George Thorogood. 1 Scotch. There, let me do it in the right voice. And yes, my good friend George Thorogood, who sings one of my favorite songs on a Sunday morning. 1 Scotch, 1 bourbon, and 1 beer. And maybe a Dodger dog to go with it. And remember, friends, Schaefer is the beer to have if you're having more than one. Bonilla strikes out. Roman is fan 3. Fastball up in the zone that was swung on and missed. So 1 out. Roman is actually pitching quite well. Opening 9 on 44 pitches. 2 in the 3rd innings, 2 hits and 3 strikeouts. Oh yes. And please, my friends, remember to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. Moreno struck out his first time up. Was Henderson hurt, or did they just not trade for him at this point? Pitch to Omar. There's a slow bounder over the mound. Bernazard behind the bag, over to first, 2 out. It's all nice and dandy. The Yankees had all this speed. But the one thing that they really couldn't do until at least Ricky was there was get on base. Here's Meacham. He tripled his first time up. And remember, please listen responsibly. Can you imagine? I would wonder how many more people would pay attention to the blurb you get when you get on the plane if Vin Scully did. And now remember, the flight attendant right now is pointing to where the exit signs are. And in case of an accident, the doors do open and inflatable chutes will come out so you can slide to safety. They should do it. Pitch to Meacham. Bobby swings a ground ball to Fishland. He throws to first, and Tabler is there, and Meacham is retired. We've played 3 in the Bronx. No runs, no hits, no errors. It's still the Yankees 1, the Indians nothing. And the in-flight entertainment is murder. She wrote. Jacoby 1 for 1. Vukovic and Bando to follow. Negro, through 3 innings, has thrown 67 pitches. Jacoby laces this one into right field. Winfield will pick it up. Jacoby digging for 2. The throw to Meacham. Not in time. Brooks got his 4th double of the year. So Negro isn't really fooling anybody. Here's George Vukovic. He's 0 for 1. Necro. Got him. That's 5. The knuckleball danced right down Broadway. 1 out for Bando, who's 0 for 1. Pat Summerall's son, by the way, Kyle Summerall, belongs to a Facebook group that I do, Retro Sports Renegades, and has some great stories about his dad's escapades. And I think we're pretty much all adults here, right? Are there any kids watching this? Just say hi and we'll talk Fortnite. Pitch to Bando. There's a ground ball to Mattingly. Don takes it to the bag himself for the out. Jacoby goes to third. So tying run 90 feet away for Bernazard, who walked his first time up. So the Summeralls made their home in the Jacksonville Sawgrass area. And before the TPC course opened, they would play the Players' Championship at Sawgrass Country Club, which is close to the water. This story's going to spill over, by the way. Pitch to Bernazard. Tony draws the walk. Thanks, Phil. And so, one day, Summerall goes to his tower in 18 and it had blown over in the night. Because they really were old wooden rickety towers. And so, one day, late 70s, early 80s, somewhere along the way, someone tells Pat, yeah, please talk, no spilling, yep. Someone tells Pat he has a visitor. Now, those booths were tiny. It was literally Summerall, Venturi, and a camera, just because anyone else in there would have... Well, first of all, you had to climb a ladder to get up there. Pitch to Fischlin, who's, well, Weiniger and Necro are having a conversation. Pitch to Fischlin. Mike hits a ground ball to Bonilla, and Juan will get the force at second to retire the side. So the Indians do put 2 on, no runs, a hit, and no errors. And after 3.5, it's still 1-0 Yankees. And so I'll finish the story as you look at the standings. And yes, the Cubs did lose to the Expos. So, one of those days, someone goes to says to Pat's ear, you got a visitor. Pat goes, oh, which one of my golf buddies is it now? He didn't really want anyone up there. And they said, well, it's Jackie Gleason. I'm not going to hear this on the Fortnite stream. And so somehow Jackie Gleason and some beverages climb that ladder into this very tiny booth. And so Gleason, being the responsible milk drinker that he always was, at one point is now looking like he drank some milk and has to use the facilities. And so he asks, well, where do you go up here? And Pat says, kind of we do that before we go on the air. And instead of wanting to climb down the ladder to use a porta potty, Jackie just kind of, let loose. And so he is going out of the back of the booth. And there's a younger couple down there. And the wife turns to the husband and says, I didn't realize it was raining. And they heard it. And speaking of spilling, Pat says in the commercial, no, you're just getting some Buford Tea Justice juice. That's all. Anyway, here are the standings. Atlanta and LA are tied for the NL West. The Cubs still have a 4-game lead over. Yeah, that was pretty funny, wasn't it? Over every one of the NL East. New York, St. Louis, by the way, is a game on Tuesday. American League West, Texas, California, Oakland, and Seattle all bunched together. In the East, Boston has won 4 straight. They're winning games on the road now. 2 ahead of Cleveland, 2.5 in front of Baltimore. The Yankees are 5.5 out of the cellar, or out of the first. So Don Mattingly says, well, you shut your mouth so I can bat. Okay. Mattingly had a sac fly in the first. 1-0 New York. And it froze up again. Yeah, that was a good one. I remember how to do this now. Apparently, if I go to the standings and then play, it now freezes. We'll be back. There we go. Yeah, I'll have to talk to Cook about that one. So Mattingly doesn't have an at-bat. He had that sac fly. Ground ball to third. Jacoby over to first for the out. Anyway, I think the name of the Facebook group, if you do Facebook, is Retro Sports Renegades. And Kyle is Pat's son is on there, and he tells some wonderful stories. But that one I thought you'd get a kick out of. I mean, you imagine trying to tell Jackie Gleason, don't take a leak? Here's Winfield. He singled his first time up. 1-for-1. In the left center field, into Death Valley. That ball is well struck. Nixon will turn and watch it go. That's in the old left center field bleachers. He hit that one over Monument Park. And the Yankees go up 2-0. That ball was absolutely crushed. Watch where this one goes, gang. No wind either. That is pure Popeye spinach for Winfield. Oh, baby. Yep, that's a gopher ball. And the Yanks go up 2-0. Here's Baylor. He's 0-for-1. Don't hit him, Jose. Don't hit him. Baylor swings into right center field. Butler moving over. Makes the great catch for the out. 2 out for Griffey. Ken struck out his first time up. And there's a fly ball shallow left. Nixon will come in and will make the catch to retire the side. But Dave Winfield, my goodness, did he ever smash one into left center? Holy cow, you get a cannoli for that, Dave. After 4-2 Yankees. So top of the lineup for Niekro, much better. Well, it's still 84 pitches through 4 innings and 18 batters. 3 hits, he's walked 2 and struck out 5. Otis Nixon is 0-for-2 with a strikeout. In the left center, Moreno, 1 out. Here's Butler, 0-for-2 with a strikeout. I have D. Scott Howard. Is there 2 Negro League teams you'd like to see me play? Pitch to Butler. There's a base hit into right center field. Winfield will pick it up. And Niekro is hurt. Apparently his Grecian formula finally arrived. Niekro tells Yogi, I'm good to go. Here's Hall. Mel is 1-for-2 with a single. Butler on first. 1 out. That's the 4th hit for the Indians here as we play the top of the 5th. Hall, line drive to Bonilla, and Juan will double off Butler. Are you kidding me? Wow. Halfway home on a Friday afternoon here. The Yankees 2, Indians nothing. Joined us late. Here's how we got here. The Yankees are up 2-0. Don Mattingly a sac fly in the first to make it 1-0. Cleveland loaded the bases in the second and could not score. And then Dave Winfield in the 4th just absolutely smoked one into left center over Monument Park into the old bleachers. That must have traveled 470 feet to make it 2-0. Jose Roman has not pitched terrible. 3-hitter through 4, 2 runs, both earned in the homer. He has struck out 3. Phil Niekro has not pitched well at all. 4-hitter through 5. Never mind the no runs. He's walked 2 and struck out 5, but has thrown 97 pitches. It'll be Pagliarulo, Weiniger, and Bonilla. John was trying to talk before I got onto the Jackie Gleason story about he offered 7 weeks figuring he could get to all his games. That's just not true, and that's what he tells me. So back to your story, I think I've cured myself from buying new games. Just not enough time. I can actually see that now. Just going to stick to the games I really love. Whatever it is, that works. I've got 3 strat projects that I'm kind of are on hold right now. I want to start a new boxing thing for the channel and do a Formula One thing. I'm not sure how much of that will get streamed, if any of it. So yes, no, I get it. There are too many games out there. A lot of them are very good. So John, what games do you really, really love? Pitch to Pagliarulo, and Mike draws the walk. John is a huge fan of Parcheesi, Shoots and Ladders, and Uno. Weiniger 0 for 1. Pagliarulo no speed on first. Full count, pitch missed up and away, by the way. Thando and Roman get together. 2 made the list. Weiniger draws the walk, and now we'll see if the computer's going to yank Roman. We're right up on it. 2 walks here in the 5th. Juan Bonilla is 0 for 1. Tribe fan does a lot with Strat. Pitch to Bonilla. Juan strikes out. That's his 4th of the game for Roman. So 18 batters for Jose, 87 pitches, 4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, a homer. He has walked 2 and struck out 4. Moreno 0 for 2 with a strikeout. There's a little chopper down to Fishland. Mike gets it between hops. Only play is to first. Moreno can still run, and he is out on a bang-banger. So a good throw from Fishland. Tribe fan is Strat exclusive. What are you looking at? Mr. Gardner is going to, I think, buy some APA World Series sets. So Meacham has a triple. He is 1 for 2. To the any Negro League teams. I was thinking of doing Hockey Blast from Play. You might like that. Was it you or Mr. Howard that was suggesting the Crawfords versus the Cardinals? That's what I was thinking of doing it. You've tried Strat Hockey. I like Strat Hockey a lot. I understand it's not everyone's cup of tea. Pitch to Meacham. Bobby swings a ground ball to Bernazard. They'll concede the run if Pagliarulo goes, but he won't, because it was 2 out. It won't matter, Ron. No runs, no hits, no errors. And Roman somehow survives the 5th. All right, that's probably what we'll do. And John loves Hockey Blast. We go to the 6th, 2-0 New York. So Tabler, Jacoby, and Vukovic to face Nuxie here in the 6th. Ground ball to Meacham. Bobby at short. Over to first. 1 out. Here's Jacoby. Brooke is 2 for 2. Single double. And this time he's got himself a base hit in the left field. Griffey Sr. picks it up. Jacoby's got a second single of the ball game. He's 3 for 3. John can do it in less than 30 minutes. Yeah, Rob had Keith Avalone on last night. Keith is kind of hard to track down, so good for Rob for having him on during the dinner hour. Vukovic is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Good for Rob. Pitch to Vukovic. George swings. There's a base hit down the line and right. That should be extra bases. Jacoby is going for third. Vukovic is in the second standing, and Winfield picks it up. So 2 on and 1 out. Runners in scoring position for Chris Bando. Necro is kind of putzing along like a 64 Rambler out there. It'll get the job done, but none of this has been pretty. Yes, Rob does a lot of play games on his channel. He did a round of History Maker Golf with someone the other night, and he does a lot with History Maker Baseball, doesn't he? Weiniger and Necro have a word. Phil delivers. Bando, there's a ground ball to Pagliarulo. He goes to first, and Bando is retired. And the runners hold. Here's Bernazard. Tony has walked twice. Nuxie probably has maybe one more inning in him. Baby. Oh yeah, Red, White, and Blue Racing. Yep. The YouTube League. Done a bunch of seasons. In fact, I think he's starting a second division for that. Pitch to Bernazard is a ground ball snared by Juan Bonilla. Over to first. And the Indians come out dry again. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. They've left on 8 runners. The Dale Lonsdale Memorial Division. I miss Dale. It'll be Mattingly, Winfield, and Baylor. And let's see what the Indians do with Roman. He'll pitch, and Mattingly draws the walk. And let's see if they yank Roman. Here's Winfield, 2 for 2. He is a homer. He put one into orbit his last time up. His first of the year. It really is. You know, it all kind of dovetails quite nicely. Al is the master of the what if in the boxing, and Gardner is like the Golden Corral. He wants to try a little bit of everything. Rob is just a great old chatter. And you can catch Tribe Fan a few nights a week on there. Pitch to Winfield. Got him, and that will be it for Roman. Jamie Easterly will come in to pitch. Jamie is not off to a hot start in 85. This will be his third appearance against the Orioles 3 days ago. He went an inning and a third, allowed 2 hits on 40 pitches, 3 runs all earned, and walked 3. So at 32, he's a fastball pitcher. At 90, and a ground ball plus pitcher. 4 in the third innings, 4 hits, 5 runs, all earned, no homers. He has walked 6 and struck out 3. He went 4-1 with a 3.92 ERA in real life. Mattingly on first, 1 out for Baylor, who was 0 for 2. And Baylor hits a grounder to Jacoby, should be 2. Bernazard for 1, the throw to Tabler, that's 2. So the Indians go around the horn, and they've held the Yankees to 3 hits. Just 2 of them were hit by Dave Winfield. We go to the 7th, 2-0 New York. So Fischlin, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Nixon and Butler, and of course there's Mr. Mike. I.D. Jester. Who am I leaving out? SGG replays. Chris Slovic does a lot of video game action too and is wonderful at it. Mike from the truck. And his Pro Strategy Football. All sorts of fun stuff to watch. Pitch to Fischlin. There's a ground ball to Pags, and the throw across the way is an out. So 1 out for Otis Nixon. Nuxie, 27 batters deep. I didn't think he'd get that far. 116 pitches, 6 in the third inning, 6 hits, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. You have to agree with Dave Gardner. When broadcasting, it's tough to do inside pitch. And RJL 518 is a master of that game. Because you got to think you're going to homer, and then it's a ground out to first. John, isn't that the John Sterling thing? It is high. It is far. It's a ground ball to short. 2 out. Pitch to Nixon. There's a ground ball to short. Speaking of which, Meacham over to first. And Nixon is the one. He beat it out. So Otis gets a single, 7th hit for the Indians. Here's Butler. Brett 1 for 3. He has singled and struck out. Every time I hear John Sterling do his silly home run call, all I can think of is Mr. Magoo. It is high. It is high. It's an A-bomb from A-Rod. I mean, don't you just see Mr. Magoo as you hear stuff like that? Pitch to Butler. It's a ground ball to first. Mattingly will field it. Goes to Meacham for the force. And the throw back is not in time. So Butler is on. They'll get the speedy Nixon. 2 out on the 3-6. Here's Mel Hall. 1 for 3. Tribe fan, I think of my gag reflex starting. Yes. Yes. I can't wait for all the nasty grams now from Yankee fans. Pitch to Hall is a base hit in the left field, and that'll do it for Necro. So runners on first, and they're going to try for him. Butler's going to go. Griffey throws to third, and he's safe. So runners on the corners. 2 out, and we can't use Bob Shirley. We can't, too early for Righetti. Righty, lefty. Midlife, yep. I can't stand John Sterling. I don't think many people can. Rich Bordy coming in. No, it's not Sterling. It's going to be Michael Kay. But Tribe Fan says, I hope the A-Rod K baseball tanks worse than the original XFL or David Caruso after NYPD Blue. Come on, don't you just love the peeling off of the sunglasses and Caruso looking like he's 30 years too old for the role? I think we have a mystery on our hands. There's a response to that I'm not going to say on the air. Bordy, 26 years old, a ground ball plus pitcher, a fastball pitcher, 89. Making appearance number 5. He last went 4 days ago in a win against the White Sox. He went an inning, threw 36 pitches, allowed 3 runs, all earned a walk and a strikeout. So overall, 5 2/3 innings, 11 hits, 5 runs, all earned. He's walked 4 and struck out 4. So Tabler is 0 for 3. He is a tryhard. Tabler is also struck out. Runners on the corners. Tabler hits one into center field for a base hit. Butler will score. Hall will go to third. Tabler holds on to first. And it's a 2-1 ball game. And Joe Carter's going to pinch run. So Carter with good speed on the bases. Cleveland senses an opening. Here's Jacoby. Brooke is singled twice and doubled. Hall on third. Carter on first. Hey! Pitch to Jacoby. Bordy got him. A 1-2 change on the inside corner. Stretch time, 2-1 New York. So the Indians got a run on 3 hits and no errors. They've now left on 10. Their offense isn't bad. I'm not sure their pitching is any good. Here's Griffey. Griffey 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Pitch to Griff. There's a chopper to short. Fischlin over to Carter for the out. Joe, by the way, at 3 at first with a .974 fielding percentage. Here's Pagliarulo. I should probably pinch hit for Pags. Dale Berra is my other third baseman. Who can hit a lefty? And the answer is going to be Ron Hasse. So the lefty can hit the lefty. What? I buckled that one up. Good job, Ron. Hasse hasn't batted it yet this year. 296, 13 homers, 42 RBI. I looked at the right-handed column and transposed it in my head. Pitch to Hasse. There's a slow chopper. Bernazard behind the bag over to first. 2 out. Back when Midlife Crisis was playing a lot of 85 strat cards and dice, I love playing with Cleveland. It's not a terrible lineup. After dropping 2 out of 3 against Detroit, they swept the Yankees in Cleveland and took 2 out of 3 from Baltimore, and the one they lost was a 19-inning game. So they've had a pretty good week. They have a homestand, a 3-game homestand coming up after this weekend with the Tigers, and then off to Baltimore and Kansas City to finish the month. The Yankees only playing their 4th home game. The Red Sox swept them at Fenway. They lost both to Cleveland. They beat the White Sox and then lost yesterday to the Indians 3-5 after they finish off this 3-game set. It's 3 against Boston and then to Chicago for 3 and then Texas. That's how John feels about the 78 Rangers and White Sox. In Strat, and don't forget, in our 78 replay, Texas made the World Series. Weininger is 0 for 1 with a walk. Butch hits a ground ball to Fischlin. Mike throws it over for the out. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 8th, 2-1 New York. So Vukovic, Bando, and Bernazard. Dale Berra, Yogi puts his son at third. He's a 5. Their pitching was atrocious, especially after trading Blyleven. I bet it was. Vukovic has got himself a double and a strikeout. He's 1 for 3. There is a ground ball to Meacham. Bobby throws it over for the out. Now, you guys know this. I could look it up. Was Henderson hurt at this point or still with Oakland? I know that Ricky and the Yankees have a great 85 together, but he's not here yet. They've put Omar Moreno out in the center. Chris Bando is 0 for 3. Bordy deals. And there's a fly ball, shallow right center. Moreno rides the Schwinn, and will make the catch. 2 out. Here's Bernazard. Tony is 0 for 1. He's walked twice. John wants to do the 78 cards and dice with Strat with actual transactions, but with your lineups. That is a great year to do. All 4 of those races were within 5 games. There's 9 teams with legit playoff shots. Pitch to Bernazard. Tony swings into left field. Back goes Griffey. That ball is well struck, but he hit it the opposite way and off the wall. So Bernazard is going to go into third on a triple. A stand-up triple for Bernazard. And so Bordy will pitch to Fischlin with Righetti warming up. Henderson started the year in the DL. Ended up scoring 145 runs in 140 games. I knew it was just an amazing number. So the Indians have the tying run on, 2 out in the top of the 8th. Fishland stays in the game. Mike hits a ground ball to first. Mattingly is there, and that will retire the side. So good work from Bordy. The runner is stranded. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 2-1 New York. The Indians have 10 hits. 1 run, 10 hits, no errors. They've left on 11. The Yankees, 2 runs, 3 hits. They have an error, and the Bombers have left on 3. Bonilla, Moreno, and Meacham to face Easterly here in the 8th. John played 78 as a kid. Now he's replaying it as an adult. Pitch to Juan is a ground ball to short. Fishland. 1 out. Omar Moreno is 0 for 3. Easterly's done well. No, that sounds about right, midlife crisis. Pitch to Moreno with a strikeout. There's a base hit. Now Moreno has speed. The Yankees could use an insurance run here. But Moreno doesn't have that much speed. Getting back to Sterling. A lot of you will remember when Sterling was the 4th person in the Braves booth with Skip Carey, Pete Van Wieren, and Ernie Johnson Sr. That July 4th game in '85, where the Mets beat the Braves, the Braves beat the Mets on the Rick Camp homer in the 19th. One of the greatest games ever played. They're out of pinch hitters, so they have to back Camp. Here's Meacham, by the way. Bobby has a triple, 1 for 3, a run scored. And so Sterling, who must have been punch drunk, because this game was 10 minutes of 5 in the morning or whatever the hell it was. And Sterling says, if Camp gets on base, I'm going to eat my hat. And what's Camp do? He promptly homers. Meacham strikes out. So 1-2 fastball on the inside corner. 2 out for Mattingly. You're not going to pinch hit for Mattingly. So Easterly going to go 2 2/3 here, you would think. Mattingly has walked, sac fly for an RBI. Yep. I had the radio on all night. Young woman was a DJ at the top 40 station at the time, and she every once in a while would read the score. She was a big baseball fan, as it turns out. I actually got to know her when I moved up here. And I honestly remember in my sleep hearing the Mets and the Braves in the 13th, Mets and the Braves in the 15th, and I honestly thought that the wire service machine must have been broken because there was no way in purgatory that they were still playing a ball game on the East Coast at 3:30 in the morning. Oh, how wrong I was. Pitch to Mattingly. Got him! What an effort for Easterly. No runs, 1 hit, runner left, no errors. We go to the 9th, 2-1 New York. So here comes Rigetti Spaghetti. Wags making his 3rd appearance of the year. No curfew in the National League. American League, it would have been over at 1, but not in the National League. Rigetti, 27 years old, a fastball pitcher at 95 and a ground ball plus pitcher. He has 1 save. That came 2 days ago, so Wednesday against the White Sox in a 9-7 win. 28 pitches in 1 inning. A hit, a walk, or 2 walks and a strikeout. So overall, Rigetti 4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And, of course, the legendary pitching coach of the San Francisco Giants. Nixon, Butler, and Hall at least will be up to face Rigetti. Otis is 1 for 4. Rigetti starts his night with a base hit into center. No, here comes Moreno. He's going to dive. And Omar makes the catch on the ground. He snow-coned it. And Rigetti doffs his cap. Here's Brett Butler. We'll see if the Indians will pinch hit. Brett's 1 for 4. He has singled, scored, and struck out. Friday baseball, I was looking for Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman. Bet you didn't think I could do a Jody Goodman impression, Gardner, could you? Did you? So 2-1 Yankees, top of the 9th. Butler stays in the game, and he'll punch that one in for a base hit. So the tying run is on for, I got to imagine the Indians are going to pinch hit here for Mel Hall. He is 2 for 4, but look at that batting average. You're not even legally drunk if you blow a .03. Carmen Castillo will pinch hit. Carmen at 389. And no more Aunt Becky. Poor Bob Saget. 7 for 18 is Carmen. He has 3 homers and 7 RBI. So the Indians have a legitimate chance here. Righetti deals. Castillo hits one up the middle. This might be it. Meacham, no throw to second. Goes for the easy out at first. And Butler will take second base. Now here's Joe Carter. Joe at 308. A homer and 3 RBI. As you see by the outcome box, it's heavily favored towards the Yankees, so we will not walk Carter for Jacoby, who's also 3 for 4. So Butler on second, Carter at the plate. Joe swings a ground ball to Mattingly, and the Yankees will hold on to win this good ball game by the score of 2-1. So the Yankees go to 3-6. The Indians fall to 6-4, but Jose Roman, 5 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned. The homer to Winfield, which again cleared Monument Park. He walked 3 and struck out 5. And Easterly, 2 2/3, a 1-hit relief. That's very good. Phil Niekro gets the win on a game he did not pitch well at all. 6 2/3, 8 hits. A run it was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 5. Bordy and Righetti slammed the door. 2 1/3 innings combined, 3 hits and a strikeout. So as we go through and show you, come on, you can do it. Jacoby now leads all of baseball with a .488 batting average. The rest of the day in baseball, the Reds get a win. They beat San Francisco 4-2. Mario Soto strikes out 10. Doesn't get the win, however, unless it was a doubleheader, and it was not. Ted Power gets the win. Mark Davis takes the loss. Gott with a solo homer. Mets beat the Phillies 10-7. They steal 5 bases. Jeff Stone has 4 hits in a losing effort for Philadelphia. Ed Lynch gets the win as first. John Denny falls to 0-3. Goodness gracious me. Howard Johnson, if it's not your mother, it must be Howard Johnson. 3 for 5, his 4th of the year, and 2 RBI. Kansas City beat the Tigers 5-3 as my voice starts to go. Mike Lacoste gets the win as first. Walt Terrell loses his 1st of the year. Willie Wilson, 4 for 5 with 2 doubles. The Expos beat the Cubs. First loss for the Cubs this year, 3-2. Tim Burke goes to 2-0. Dennis Trout falls to 1-1. Sean Dunston, 2 for 4 in a losing effort, a triple and a double. Baltimore beats the Blue Jays 5-3. Dixon gets the win. He goes to 2-0. Louis Leal takes a loss 1-1. Cal Ripken is 4th of the year. He goes 2 for 4. Milwaukee beats Texas 6-4. Moose Haas goes to 1-1. Dickie Knowles takes the loss. He's 0-1. Cecil Cooper, 3 for 4 with 2 doubles. The Angels beat the Mariners 8-7. Mike Witt 1-1. Mark Langston 1-1. Brian 10 Downing Street hits his 4th of the year, drives in 4. Minnesota 4-1 over Oakland. Mike Smithson gets his first win. Kruger goes to 0-2. Kirby Puckett 2 for 4 with a triple. The Astros beat the Braves. Joe Niekro wins it 6-3. Joe gets his first win. Gene Garber, were they trying him as a starter again? 1-1. Ashby is 1st of the year. He goes 2 for 4. Cardinals beat the Pirates 5-2. Danny Cox goes to 2-0. Tunnel goes to 0-2. Tommy Herr, 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. The Red Sox are white hot. They beat the White Sox 5-4. Bruce Hurst over Tom Seaver. Hurst 2-1, Seaver 1-1. Ron Kittle is fourth of the year in a losing effort. And last but not least, the Dodgers beat the Padres 6-5. Brennan goes to 3-0. Eric Chow 1 for 2. Steve Garvey puts a dagger into the Dodgers' hearts, 3 for 4, his second of the year, and 2 RBI. Scheduled games next week. We go to St. Louis for the Mets and the Cardinals because we're going to get as many of those in as we can. The Thursday game will be, at the moment, Toronto and Texas. And then the next Friday's game will be the Red Sox and the Royals. And so that'll do it. We'll have football for you on Sunday and a Martin Luther King baseball special for you on Monday. I'm Ron Juckett. Thank you so much for watching. Stay warm. And don't drive if you don't need to. Talk to you over the weekend. So long, everybody.